Tonight on CTV, candidates for future ASCSU positions discuss their plans and hopes for the coming year.
CSU students joined those across the country walking out in honor of those killed at the Parkland school shooting.
CSU students come together and walk in unity across campus for CSU Night.
All that and more from the people you know starting now on CTV.
In the past year, we've seen a rise in bias-motivated incidents across campus. And today, CSU took a stand against hate speech. Good evening and welcome to CTV News. I'm Miller.
And I'm Amelia Castaneda. Here's what's happening in the news near you.
Last night wrapped up the final debate between the ASCSU candidates before the voting period officially opens next week. For 2 hours in the LSC Theater, candidates running for student government discussed their platforms, advocated for changes on campus, and expressed their hopes for the future. The underlying theme of this debate was one of compassion for their fellow students. The ASCSU Speaker of the Senate candidates were first to answer questions provided by the moderator and audience.
All right, let's get started. The first question will be for Ben. What do you want people to know about your campaign?
It's just this idea of cultivating compassion that too often we talk about what can people do for me. I know John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. The same way, even in our student government, ask not, what can this student government give me, but how can I serve and help other people?
Thank you. The same question will be presented to Maral. What do you want people to know about your campaign?
I think the foremost thing that I would like people to know about my campaign is that I don't believe in giving people a voice, but rather creating the space where they're allowed to speak for themselves, where their space is safe and comfortable, to where they can talk about issues that are under-highlighted and that exist in often silenced and marginalized communities. And so
the four ASCSU presidential campaigns highlighted their plans while also tackling controversial issues currently affecting the student body, including food insecurity, bias-motivated incidents, and U+2.
Who we are as students and where we come from. One thing that has been consistent throughout this campaign is that we are the different campaign that has come from the outside of ASCSU. But we have come from the student body, and we are students just like everybody else.
Well, I want people to know that we have a unique combination of passion and experience. Lindsay and I both know the things that we need to do to really make our role as president and vice president really effective.
Very simple. It comes with our slogan. It's your ideas, our job, strengthen your voice. We see a lot of issues. We see a lot of people that represent ASCSU, and they're representing their personal agendas.
Finally, him and I looked at each other and said, well, if we want to see it happen, if we're getting all the student input all the time, maybe we just need to do it ourselves, and that's why we're here, and it is.
Our campaign focuses more on bias-motivated incidents, and that is something that we need to be talking about as a campus and as an institution. Yes, food insecurity is a problem, but I think on campus, in proximity-wise, there are numerous other things that we can be tackling.
Well, I'm going to start off with calling them for what they are, acts of white supremacy. They are not bias-motivated incidents at all. To go off on that, it is also not the job of the victims to educate the privileged on these incidents. They shouldn't have to sit there and educate people on why these are wrong. Everyone knows that they are wrong.
Ben, what are your closing remarks?
This is one of those moments where I just say, I would encourage you to vote no matter what, regardless of what candidate you're choosing.
Do your research and look into your candidates and see who's doing the work on campus, who is creating the tangible programs, and who is most passionate. I think we all have really good intentions, but at the end of the day, it comes down to who is willing to put in the physical work.
Voting for the ASCSU Speaker of the Senate candidates and presidential campaigns will begin on April 2nd at 8 a.m. until April 4th at 4 p.m. Students can cast their vote on RamWeb for who they want to represent them in office. If you would like more information about the candidates, you can visit collegian.com.
Students all across campus marched as one from the Behavioral Sciences Building to the LSC Plaza as part of the CSU Night, No Place for Hate event put on by the university. At the plaza, the students were greeted by music from the CSU choirs, as well as speeches from Marion Taveros, Vance Payne, Tony Zimmerman, Blanc Hughes, and CSU President Tony Frank.
But by our being here together, we reject that choice. We will not encourage the tormentor. We will not sin through our silence. We will not be remembered for our silence where our friends were attacked.
President Tony Frank also sent an email leading up to the event saying, "We will walk to the Laurie Student Center Plaza, standing together in support of what we value and against these acts of hate and oppression, with the ultimate goal of inspiring learning and action for real change in our campus culture and in our world."
CSU students gathered at 10 a.m. last Friday to join students across the country in the walkouts. The walkout lasted 17 minutes to honor each of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School students who died in the Parkland, Florida shooting on February 14th.
I was really upset that children are having to deal with death. This is never something that we have to deal with, and they've stepped up in an amazing way, and I look up to them, but I'm sorry it had to happen. I was just mad about that. I heard about in Florida they had overturned a gun ban where they hadn't even decided to vote on it at all, and I was so mad that it showed so much of this for me. And I just really I'm just so grateful that everyone showed up. I was really worried that there was only going to be a few people. And it's important to me to see that there are so many people that are concerned about this and are willing to act.
For more information, you can visit collegian.com.
Colorado State University is one of the nation's most sustainable universities, consistently ranking in the top 3 for sustainabilities. A panel hosted by Defend Our Future, a student-led climate advocacy group at CSU, addressed sustainability efforts as well as the EPA administrator's plan to repeal the Clean Power Plan. Panel members included CSU's energy engineer and co-chair of the President's Sustainability Commission, Energy Services Manager for Fort Collins Utilities, Poudre Valley Energy Administrator, representative for the Sierra Club's Beyond Coal campaign, and project development for Solaris Energy.
84% of our incoming freshmen last year said that the CSU's reputation around sustainability was important for them to one of the reasons why they chose to come to CSU. So
I think that being like one of the top, if not the #1 most sustainable campus in the nation, really being that spearhead towards these large projects is very important. And although we have a long ways to go, it kind of shows how much that we can do and how much is left to do for the whole nation.
The panel, organized by Defend Our Future, discussed their organization's goals, the prime motivations to seek 100% energy, student-driven efforts, pricing outlooks, and benefits. Community members also had the opportunity to ask the panel questions.
To get the solar, but would like to do the right thing and try and get at some of that renewable resources.
Dollard, energy engineer and co-chair of the President's Sustainability Commission at CSU, shared the university's renewability goals.
On that path, but it is still our goal. We have a goal of 100% renewable electricity by 2030 and complete carbon neutrality by 2050.
I asked students to share their thoughts on these goals.
I really support that because I feel like it's important to be renewable, especially like you have the opportunity to make it all renewable, you should.
Technically can't be 100% renewable in the sense that the energy that comes on our grid comes from the coal power plants, because that's what's most closely direct to us, but we can fund programs in order to make sure that sustainable energy is created.
For more information on CSU sustainability initiatives, you can visit green.colostate.edu.
Arethi Sasadri, a CSU assistant professor in the Department of Sciences, received a grant for more than $400,000 to help research into pollinators, and they will use this grant to help educate beekeepers. Sasadri says the results generated will promote the development of nutritive plant species mixes for pollinator habitats and provide the knowledge required to develop dietary supplements to sustain healthy honeybee colonies. To learn more about the FFAR Health Fund and related research topics, you can visit foundationfar.org/pollinator-health-fund. Amelia, were you able to catch the ASCSU debate last night?
I definitely wish I would have. I stopped by for a little bit, but unfortunately I had to leave. What were some of the highlights?
You know, the candidates definitely tackled some controversial topics, but I was really glad that they opened up the discussion to discuss things like the bias-motivated incidents on campus. I think it's really important that we talk about these things.
Oh, definitely, especially with the CSU Night March that happened earlier today, really expressing that CSU is no place for hate.
And that is why I'm proud to be a RIM. Well, that's all we have for news.
Stay tuned for Keenan Kozart coming at you next with your weekend forecast.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from break rams. I'm weather and Keenan Kozart. It was a chilly day. It was a chilly start to our day, and it continued throughout the day. So if you're headed out tonight, bring a jacket along with you. Looking at your current temperatures, it's 47 degrees. The wind's at 8 miles an hour, and your gusts are at 12 miles an hour. And it is mostly clear. There's a few lingering showers hanging out there, so headed out, make sure you bring a jacket. Looking at your overnight lows, we're going to see some 40s and 30s, 56 out in Grand Junction. Along the I-25 corridor, 40s, 54 in Pueblo. Out on the plains, we see some 40s in Lamar at 53. Looking at your tomorrow's highs, it's going to be 60, 65 in Lamar, 60, 70 in Pueblo. Looking into the mountains, we're going to see some 40s and 50s, 66 in Grand Junction. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be 61, partly cloudy. There's going to be a few clouds lingering around, so for your Friday. Wind 8 miles an hour, and your gusts are at 13 miles an hour, and sunset is at 7:23 p.m. Looking at your 5-day forecast, Saturday, we're going to see it's going to be cloudy, a few snow showers. There's about a 40% chance of rain that day, so that's just Colorado. Looking on to Sunday, it's going to be cloudy in the morning, sunny in the afternoon. Ryan has some Easter activities for you, planned in entertainment. Looking on your Monday, it's going to be cloudy in the morning, but it's going to warm up to be sunny. On Tuesday, it's going to be sunny. Looking at your Friday planning, you warm up, it's going to be 37, sunny. Around that lunchtime hour, it's going to be 49 degrees. Some winds will kick up. Those winds stay with you into the afternoon. Windy at 13 miles an hour, and 59 is going to be for your evening commute. Stay tuned for Jared up next with track and baseball coming up next.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Are listening to 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins with DJ Mean Beat,
DJ Nightshade,
DJ Wildcard. Music to me is
one of the best creative outlets that I can think of.
An escape from the real world.
Music to me is an expression of love.
Go from like folk to hip hop to like classic rock, 1960s bossa nova. With music, there's like no boundaries.
I work here because I love music, and you do too.
Welcome back to from the break into the Thursday Night Sports Show. I'm Jerry Stratton, here to catch you up on CSU athletics. CSU football is getting back up to the speed with their 5th practice of the year in the indoor facility. With the offensive leader still in question for the upcoming season, senior running back Izzy Matthews is looking to take on that role.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. For the start of the spring ball, I kind of had the mindset, we're looking for a new quarterback. I wanted somebody to step up, lead the offense, and I really haven't seen it enough. Today I made more of an effort to go out there and be like an actual leader, kind of getting on guys, trying to get things going. And so going forward, I plan to step more into a leader role as far as the whole offense goes. But I mean, since I've been here, I've got the offense really quickly. I feel like I've always been a leader in my room, and I've been able to, help the young guys out when they come, and even some of the older guys, like when J.O. was here, he didn't know the signals. And just being able to do stuff like that, I take pride in that. So I definitely am looking forward to being a leader for the team, but I feel like I've kind of established myself in my room for now.
Izzy Matthews played in 11 games last season with 613 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. He also had his first receiving touchdown of his career last season and 140 receiving yards to tag on with that. This will be his 4th year with the Rams, and he will continue to go after the leader role next year for the Rams. In other news, the CSU track and field team was honored with both Athlete of the Week awards for the Mountain West. Kelsey Bedard and Ronald Sales were presented these awards this Tuesday. This is Bedard's 3rd award for her career and is the first weekly conference honor for Sales' career. In the women's hammer event, Bedard's distance of 2:03.6 ranked her as 10th in the NCAA. Sales ran a 47.11 400 meter, which is 24th in the NCAA. This is also the first time this season that the same school was awarded multiple honors for the same week. Kelsey Bedard's father, also the head coach of the track and field team, is looking forward to the match this weekend.
I know it seems like every week we're hearing about Colorado State just breaking more records in track and field, and I know you guys have a meet coming up this weekend. What are you guys looking forward to in that meet?
Yeah, we had an opener at School of Mines, and luckily we had some good weather and had some good things happen there. You come off spring break and you're hoping as a head coach that your athletes trained over spring break and didn't do anything dumb. So you kind of judge their performance. The timing system and the tape measure doesn't lie. They'll let you know if the athletes did their training over break or not. And judging by the first meet, we saw a lot of highlights in most of our event areas that we had there. So our staff was really positive after the meet, and I think the athletes were pretty pumped. So going into our second meet at Northern Colorado and hoping for good weather, always in the spring, it's unpredictable, but I think we have some good momentum. I think the athletes are excited about what's going on. The coaching staff is. So we'll just keep progressing, keep working hard. But I like the direction we're headed, and hopefully that's towards some team championships.
Awesome. I hope so too. Well, good luck to you this weekend. That's all I have for you. So thank you very much. It was nice to meet you. That's all I have for you right now, Rams. But thanks for tuning in to CTV Sports. I'm Sydney Wicker.
CSU's distance runners will take to the field in the San Francisco State Distance Carnival this Friday, while the rest of the team will take to this field in Greeley on Saturday. The CSU club baseball team will be taking the field this weekend for 3 games. 1 game will be played this Friday, and a doubleheader will be played on Saturday. All of these games will be played against Colorado Mesa University. The Rams are coming off a 3-game winning streak from the University of Wyoming. All 3 wins were borderline blowouts, with CSU winning by more than 11 runs in 2 out of the 3 games. This gives CSU some much-needed momentum for the series against Colorado Mesa. Well, that's all the sports I have for you today, but make sure to check collegian.com and CTV Channel 11 for the latest in CSU athletics. I'm Jerry Stratton, and up next is Ryan Chris with Marvel and Disneyland Entertainment.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
What's up, Rams? My name's Ryan Chris, and we're back another fantastic Thursday bringing you all the latest and greatest in entertainment news. Roller derby, a sport that I thought died in the 90s, is apparently still alive today in Fort Collins and across the United States. The Fort Collins team, known as the FOCO Brew Crew, has made its home for the roller derby at a certain rink on the edges of town known as Sweet Child O' Mine. This event center has been holding them for 5 years now, but due to financial reasons, they must close their doors to the team. This part of the event center also holds hockey clubs and volleyball, but will be now converted into a new climbing gym. The manager of the event center said it's sad that he has to close his doors to these groups and that he is only doing it because they don't draw big enough crowds. If you do want to catch one last roller derby bout at this event center, make sure to go to 218 Smoky Street in Fort Collins on April 24th at 7 p.m. Last week, I talked about the Coloradans March Madness Food Edition here in Fort Collins. And with March coming to a close, we have a winner. The winner for Best Burger in Fort Collins is Nick's Italians. After narrowing down 80 different options and counting over 15,000 votes, somehow the Italian place won. Nick Doig, the manager of Nick's Italians, commented on this fact to the Colorado, saying it's surprising to win, being that we are an Italian restaurant. But it's not surprising because so many people tell me how much they love our burgers. The runners-up for the March Madness bracket was DC Oaks Burger Bar, followed by Stuff's and Big Al. Now my only question is to the runners-up. How did an Italian place beat you? Like, I just don't get it. So next time you're looking for a good burger, I guess you should go to Nick's Italian. The Fort Collins community members were thinking with their heads as they created awareness. At the downtown Arty, the St. Baldwick's Foundation were having their first Fort Collins event called the FOCO Strong Head Shaving, where volunteers could come and donate to childhood cancer research as well as shaving their heads. And they raised over $8,000.
It was weird. So my hair was all up in different ponytails, and then having the middle one shaved immediately, and then being handed the ponytails was just a surreal experience. And then the first time I ran my hand over my head, I was like, what is going on? I have never felt this before. Oh my gosh.
Along with raising money, volunteers with long hair could put it in ponytails so it could be turned into wigs for children with hair loss. Some of the participants did this out of the kindness of their hearts, while others had a much more personal connection.
I actually live with like 3 different autoimmune issues myself, and so anytime I can do something for other people to raise money or awareness for any kind of illness, I really like to participate in whatever way that I can. And in this case, you know, I don't have the ability to be financially helpful, but I do have the ability to do something like shave my head and raise money, so.
But at the end of the day, everyone was there to create awareness.
So we shave our heads not just to raise that money, but also to show solidarity for all of those people who may not have wanted to lose their hair, but we're here to show them that not only are they beautiful, they're strong, and you know, the more of us are out there, and we're there for everybody.
To find out more about this, you can go to the St. Baldwick's Foundation's website. With this upcoming weekend being Easter weekend, here's some fun Easter-themed events you can go to. The first one is the NOCO Keg Hunt, where anyone can sign up in teams of 7 or 8 to go on a scavenger hunt throughout Fort Collins. Participants will be provided with clues to find where the next clue is, and the winner gets a giant keg trophy. Along the way, participants will be handed drinks, and at the end, there will be free food. This event does cost $35 and starts at 1 p.m. The next event is the beer hunt at the Max Line Brewing, where participants can enjoy Max Line beer while hunting for eggs in their designated zones. All these eggs will have prizes inside of them, and some of them will contain over $100 in gift cards. This event will take place at 11 and 2 p.m. Participants are also encouraged to try some of Max Line's new beer before the event begins. Lastly, if you want a more traditional Easter Sunday, then the Moot House will be having an Easter brunch with ham carving stations, roast beef, salmon, and all of your Easter favorites. This brunch will be served all day at the Moot House, and the Moot House is one of many places that are having this unique Fort Collins brunch. For a list, head to www.visitfortcollins.com/Fort Collins Easter Events 2018. Disneyland in California is getting an upgrade with the release of new Marvel Infinity Wars next month. Disney has announced a Marvel themed park to be added to Disneyland California. This new park will replace the current Bug Life Park that's located next to the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. The main theme of this park will be Marvel superheroes, but specifically Spider-Man. The other Disneylands in Paris and Hong Kong will get similar updates, just with different main themes. These new parks are already under construction and plan to be released in 2020. Hopefully, though, these rides won't be all the same, just with different heroes like their movies. Well, Rams, that's all the time I have for you tonight, but make sure to stay tuned for Monday Night Sports Show and for Tuesday night anchor Litos Castro's coverage of glow-in-the-dark Easter egg hunts. Have a great night, Rams.